I walk through the green undergrowth, the world around me glowing green as sunlight shines through the crowns of leaves towering above me. I love it here. I love it here so much, but they must not know I'm here. The Lord and his men must not know I'm here. I dig through the brush all around me, on the hunt for herbs to tie under the skirts of my dress and sneak back into my hut. I look for herbs to conduct magic with, magic that is completely and absolutely prescribed for people like us. You see, magic is only allowed to be practiced by the nobles and royals of this land. But that doesn't change the fact that a secret network of magic users and teachers exists. That doesn't change the fact that secret folk magic practices are created and spread and added onto and perfected. That this has been happening for years. It doesn't change the fact that people still need healing and protecting for them and for their crops and livestock. And it doesn't change the fact that us regular people have to make magic no matter what the risks are. I kneel down on the soft, loamy ground as I come face to face with the plant I need, a short, leafy shrub whose tubers are needed for a protection spell for new babies. I dig my hands into the dirt, the task being far too delicate to use a shovel. I feel around, oh so slowly, until I find a tuber. I break off the tuber and store it away underneath my skirt. I only need one, and the plant needs all the rest. I pack the dirt I displaced back into its proper place before watering the plant from my water skin. "Thank you for your gift," I whisper to it, bowing my head. I walk on through the forest, trying to find where the plants I need could be, based on their optimal growing conditions. Elanthe grows on downward slopes, and so I walk my way through the valley, watching my steps so that I do not trample on any plants as I go. I must walk softly on the earth. I must be careful towards her. The Elanthe bush rises wild and jagged and high above me, and I softly part its branches to reach the green buds that grow inside the guarded exterior of the plant. I gather up a few, no more than what I need, and I put them in the same place as the tuber. I bow to the plant and thank it for its gift, and I walk on. In a matter of a few hours, I have collected everything that I sought out to collect, all the medicine that will make the people of my village healthy, and I am walking homewards to the little hut on the edge of the town that I share with the other magic users. I am sad that I am leaving the forest that creeps to the very edge of the town with its protective cover, the forest that can always calm my heart no matter what. But I know that I have much more work to do. I know that I will be back within a few hours. In the hut, I am met with Cuthbert, who is cutting up his herbs for the potion that he is working on. I put a small metal pan over the great hearth at the center of our hut, and I fill it with water from the stream. Then I place all my herbs inside and allow them to soak. The stream water is clean and clear and fresh and cool, the perfect water to make a potion for a baby with. "Is this for Alexa and Katya's new baby?" Cuthbert asks me. "It sure is." "I can go give it to the child. That will leave you free to go to this afternoon's meeting. I know how much it meant for you to go." "Oh, thank you, Cuthbert," I explain. "You're so kind." "No problem," he replies, smiling at me. I braid my dark, frizzled hair quickly and put on my boots again. I guess I'll be seeing the forest again sooner than I thought. The meetings don't have a set location. They just occur wherever the forest decides that they will occur. This is to keep all of us safe, since no one knows where the meetings are, no one can be tortured for information, no one can give us away. So I follow the flow of the forest, and I let it pull me to wherever it is pulling me to. I follow the flow of the forest, and I walk through hills and valleys and streams and thickets. I walk by nests and burrows and springs and logs, and I end up exactly where I need to be. I end up in a large circle formed by all the other witches in the village and the neighboring villages. There are not many of us, only a few dozen in total, but there doesn't need to be many of us, because as long as we can heal people and help people, that is enough. That is all we need to do. I see a new face, a younger teenager dressed in a long shirt, or is it a short dress, with their hair falling in 2 golden braids down to their knees. Another new witch for us to teach. How beautiful. I love that our tradition and our magic is still going strong. Welcome, everyone. Calliope's voice rings bright and clear from her spots within the circle. We are gathered here today to conduct our ceremony of communion, where we will all commune with each other and commune with the forest so that our powers can grow in strength and our healing can grow in power. Praise be to the forest, we echo as she pauses. Today we are welcoming a new face, the lovely lass Mayrin Clarson. Mayrin addressed the gatherers. Hello everyone. Her voice is kind of shy. I'm really excited to be here and to be part of the ceremony of communion. I'm from the Snelda village and I am learning under the guidance of Taylor Hawson. Welcome, she says to her. Welcome, we say to her in a messy unison. She blushes. She is so very sweet. We gather in a circle amongst the shrubs and the grasses and the herbs all around us, and we hold hands. Clara places a skin of water in the middle of the circle before joining us again. We all look up to face the sky, and we start chanting. The song is low and melodic and beautiful, out of tune and out of time, but so deeply, irrevocably human that it is divine. I let the cool wind, slightly too chilly, blow through my face and hair, and I cling tightly to the hands all around me, all of us forming an unbroken circle, and I let myself melt into everything. I am one with the witches all around me. I am one with their kindness and the anger and the fierce protectiveness and the secret subversiveness in all of their hearts. I am one with the forest all around me, with the wild, wild lands where energy and love and guidance and teaching flows through everything in a never-ending, interconnected web. I am one with the village that is my hope, the village full of people who are just as I am, struggling to get by. The village that has my heart and is my heart in its entirety. I am one with the other villages that dot the hills and valleys and the slopes of the mountains. They are all so very different. They are all the same. And all the common people, they are my soul. I jerk my head straight as danger flows through my connection, as danger floods all my inner senses. The forest is telling us something, telling us that we need to run. I briefly make eye contact with all the other witches in the circle around me, and in a split second, we bolt, all in different directions, all rushing towards the refuges and hiding places of the forest. I let my feet carry me to wherever the forest is pulling me, too full of panic to truly see where I am going. I hear the clopping sounds of hoofbeats thundering behind me. It's the Lord's men. It's the Lord's men. What do I do? How do I escape them? My lungs burn and my legs burn, and my whole being feels as if it is filled with bright, purposeful fire. I hope it will be enough. I hope I can get away. I hope. I scream as the rough rope of a net falls over me, making me tumble to the ground. I move my arms to lift it above me, but before I get the chance, I am seized by strong arms clad in chainmail, and I am held down. I scream and thrash until I am aching and hoarse, but it's no use as I am tied down and then lifted unceremoniously onto a horse, where I am dumped belly down like a sack of flour. I am tied down for the whole long, painful ride to the castle, terror building up like a sharp spire through my heart. I don't know what will happen next. I don't know what will happen next. I will be punished, maybe even killed, for disobeying the lords and practicing magic. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. But even amid the terror, one thought blooms inside me, strong and sure like a flowing river. I hold on to that thought, and I let it grow like the branches of the oak tree. The thought is simple. Whatever happens, I will hold on to my dignity, and I will hold on to my people's dignity. This does not make the anxiety lessen, not at all, but it gives me the strength to keep on standing, metaphorically, no matter how much pain I am feeling, no matter how much pain I will feel. Eventually, I am thrown to the floor, a hard stone floor in a dusty courtyard. Before the rider can get off his horse, I pull myself up to my feet. This seems to be the back entrance of the castle, the place where they bring in prisoners. I feel like throwing up, but I force myself to not. I cannot let them know how afraid I am. I cannot let them know that they are affecting me. No words are exchanged as I am yanked over to a metal pole against the wall and tied to it. And it is there that I stay until the sun goes down beyond the horizon and through the darkness and chill of the night, and until the sun once again rises in the east and lights the world in the morning's brightness. My stomach is aching and my throat is parched dry, but this is not very new. I have gone longer without eating before. All that is new is that I've never done so in the castle. My whole body is exhausted and aching, and my mind is rushing with thoughts of what could possibly happen to me. I am working myself into insanity. In the bright morning, a figure strolls into the courtyard, flanked by guards on each side. He wears layers and layers of fine clothing in bright fabrics, and he wears a large, trailing fur robe with brightly colored fur, studded with a line of gems. His boots are polished and made of the finest leather. On his head is an intricate crown. He must be the Lord. I stand up straighter and look him dead in his hard, cruel eyes. "So you're the witch." His voice is smug and haughty. "So you're the Lord," I spit back. "Why do you cause trouble trying to use magic? We all know that the common people are weak and pathetic in magic. We all know that only the lords can wield magic strongly." "Magic isn't just for you and your people," I reply. "Magic is for everyone, and anyone brave enough to disobey your unreasonable laws can wield magic. They can wield it stronger and better than you or even the queen ever could." You are delusional, and you don't know your place." His voice has hints of frustration to it. Am I already getting to him? Good. I must keep going at this. "The magic of the common people is stronger than your magic ever will be. You use your magic and your power to keep all the resources from us. You use your magic to hoard everything and keep it from us. We use our magic to create healing in our communities. You don't know anything." It is you who does not know anything, he snarled at me. I will show you how vastly superior my magic is from your weak and feeble magic. You want to bet? I keep the fear out of my voice. I am not afraid that he might win. He won't. But I am afraid that he will hurt me. But I cannot let him know this. A tournament, then, between you and me, to see who is the better mage. You're on. I keep looking into his eyes. You'll have to untie me, though. And so he does, with a silver glinting knife from his gilded belt. Follow me! I follow him into the castle proper, surrounded by guards on each side. The inside of the castle stretches vast on either side of me. There are so very many rooms, so many objects and idols and statues and furniture and tapestries and rugs and chandeliers and things I cannot even name, stretching out through all sides of me. The colors are so bright, are colors that I have never seen before in my life. There are wide, clear windows surrounded by thick, silken curtains. There are paintings in golden frames adorning the walls. And there are doors, so many different doors. And each door leads to another vast room. There are also flowers everywhere. But these are not wildflowers growing free. These are carefully cultivated garden flowers growing in vases. I am astounded by the beauty, but at the same time, I am deeply unnerved and put out by the hollowness of this beauty, by the twistedness of it. Everything is meant to appeal to the senses, but there is no soul in any of the rich surroundings around me. There is nothing intangible, untouchable. It merely all looks good. It is a false sort of beauty. I am led to a door engraved in gold, softly glowing in the light, intricately carved. Here is where I create all my spells, the Lord declares, leading me in. Inside the room are thousands of jars and cases and chalices containing every sort of expensive material imaginable. It's suffocating in here. I'm not impressed, I tell him. Oh, you will be. I will show you. I will create the most powerful beast in the kingdom, and then you will see. He calls his servants to bring forth a chalice filled with the purest of wines, and he pours the deep red liquid onto a twisted set of crystal spires. The wine collects in the platinum bowl at the bottom of the spires, and he has his servants lift up the bowl. In the dark black ink, he writes something. In dark black ink, he writes something in the fine parchment in front of him. I do not know what he wrote because I cannot read or write, but I see him soak the parchment in the bowl of wine. The next thing I see is him using a gem-encrusted mortar and pestle to crush pearls that look more expensive than our entire village. He plays a strange string instrument, and there is a swirling, glowing flow of gold dancing through the air. It forms the shape of a cougar and starts glowing brighter than ever before. The petals of the rose come falling from the roof, and there is a strange warmth emanating throughout the entire room. I look at the Lord, who is still playing his instrument. I look back and see a large cougar made of gold, with sharp, snarling teeth and rubies for eyes. I gasp slightly, afraid of the unnatural creature as it prowls up and down the room, growling and snapping, moving us fluidly as it would if it were real. Do you see this beast? He declares grandly to me. It will be able to kill any animal. None will be able to hold up against it. I can create a creature with more power. My words are soft and solemn, strong and unshaking. I would like to see you try. Then just watch. I do not even hesitate for a second to reply to him. I make my way out of the castle towards the village. At the edge of the village, beside the forest, I kneel down. Mother Earth, please build for me a life, I whisper, kneeling down on both knees, hands flat against the earth. I rise and find a patch of dirt that is uncovered by vegetation. I lay my hands on this earth and let it stick onto my fingers. I then stroke the blades of grass underneath me, starting at their bases and slowly working my way up, letting the earth coat them lightly. I raise my hands up to the sky and look up. Father Sky, please build for me a life, I whisper, and I hold my hands up in contact with the air. I go to the stream and bring both of my hands down gently at the stream's side, each hand soaked on one half by the water. Parents, water, please build for me a life. I walk in a circle, then a gust of wind, and all at once, in the middle of the circle, stands a baby wood bison with thick brown fur and blunt teeth. Your creature is weak and pathetic, the Lord tells me from atop his horse. My beast could kill it easily. Do you want to see? I ask him. Let me up on your horse. A commoner on a horse? That is absolutely preposterous. It sounds to me like you're just scared, I taunt. Okay, fine. He helps me up, and we watch as he calls his cougar to us. The snarling beast takes one look at the baby wood bison and starts running towards it, greedy for meat to feast upon. The bison runs toward the forest, and we follow. For many minutes, the cougar gives chase to the baby bison, and truly there are certain moments in which I worry that maybe it will kill the baby after all. But the baby bison stays strong and runs through the forest, knowing exactly where to go, and it makes me proud. It makes me so very proud. It starts to look as if the cougar is catching up to the bison, but just as it's getting close, the bison finds the herd of other wood bison that live in this forest. The baby melts into the herd, rushing into its safety, and the adults all gather together in front of the cougar, protecting the young and weak members of the herd from its teeth and claws. The cougar stops dead in its tracks, obviously afraid at the numerous bison with their sharp horns. But before it can run away, all the bison charge together, piercing its golden fur with their horns. The cougar sprawls out onto the ground, crying in agony as deep red wine bleeds from its insides. What did I tell you? I asked the Lord. He is too astounded to answer. Well, you may have won this round, he finally concedes, but that was only through cunning and trickery. The next challenge I am sure you will concede on. Oh yeah? I asked, still looking at the carcass of the golden cougar. Bring it on. I challenge you to find the most precious thing in the kingdom. If you can find something more precious than I do, then you will have won. Okay. I keep my voice calm and cool and slightly ired. I cannot let him know the fear I am feeling deep within my heart, though the fear is less than it used to be before. I will find the most precious thing, and if you can find anything more precious, you will win. Okay. He brings us back to the castle and to his magic room. There, he rubs the hilts of two sharp swords against each other and lays them on his grand mahogany table. Upon the swords, he places a dainty ivory spyglass. I have never seen a spyglass in real life before. I have only heard about them in stories. He gathers a chalice full of precious gems and gold and silver nuggets, and, chanting some words, he pours them onto the spyglass and the swords. He then empties the chalice of some dark liquid onto the pile, and once again he plays his instrument. A ribbon of flowing, glowing silver manifests in the air above us, and he takes me by the wrist as we follow it out the door. He gathers a fleet of his knights to go out with him. He attaches a knife to his boot. I hang on to him as he rides his horse, too close for either of our comforts. We ride for 2 days and 2 nights, stopping at different villages to eat. It's an exhausting journey, a tense journey, a difficult journey. We exchange no more words than necessary. At least he is giving me food. He follows a stream of silver that dances and glows above our heads, glinting in the sunlight. This strange air he had manifested by once again playing his strange stringed instrument and doing his elaborate rituals. Finally, we come upon a meadow near a village. Here, he pronounces, lies the most precious thing in the kingdom. He calls the village folk and commands them to dig, and so they do. For many days and nights they dig, the hole getting deeper and deeper. Finally, someone hits something hard. At first, we all think it is just a rock, but it turns out to be an unpolished hunk of diamond as big as my torso. There is a great effort to mine it out. I would like to see you top that, he gloats. All right, I reply, letting the sneakiness inside me show. I get off the horse and start walking to the forest. The Lord and his men follow. Please show me the way, forest, I beseech. Inside the forest, there is a pull in my heart, secret and untraceable, showing me where to go. It pulls me this way and that, through stretches of forest that I am altogether unfamiliar with. I walk and I walk for days on end, eating berries I find and drinking from rivers and streams. The men follow me, and they grumble about how exhausted they are, about how this journey is taking forever. The forest leads me to the mountains, and I climb the mountains. I climb the mountains for days on end, not keeping track of how much time has passed. The knights complain that I am wasting their time, and the Lord tells me that if this turns out to be for nothing, he will have my head. I know that he will have my head anyways. I keep on following the tug in my heart as it leads me through the forest. I finally get near the summit of a mountain, and I point up to the rain clouds forming above us. This, I tell everyone, is the most precious thing in the kingdom. The rain on the mountains, which fill all of our rivers and streams with water. What nonsense, the Lord exclaims. How can simple water be precious? You have never known thirst, I explained to him. You would never understand. We exchanged no words during the long trek back. When the Lord is at his beloved castle, we sink down upon his large plush bed with sheer curtains hanging from a frame surrounding it. I sit down beside him, and he is too exhausted to tell me anything. I won both rounds, I state. No, you did not, he retorts. Yes, I did, I reply back. I found a diamond. What you found was some simple water. Mine was far more precious. I laugh at this, an ugly, unseemingly laugh, and he gets very agitated. I will have your head, he shouts at me. If you want my head, then take it, I quip. I do not care for something as fleeting as a head. At this, he gets even more agitated, which makes me just laugh louder. Anyways, I tell him, even if you did win this round, which you didn't, we would still be tied 1-1. Fine, you're right. We should do one more challenge to set the record straight once and for all. What challenge do you want to do? You've chosen all the other challenges thus far. I lie down onto the plush softness of the bed. I lie down beside the Lord, and he does not even do anything to stop me. This bed is far softer than anything I have ever experienced in my life. I like it, though I know it was made with the blood of my people. I will let you know, he replies. Just give me a few days of rest. I am led back to the courtyard I was brought into that first fateful day, and I am once again tied to the post by the wall. This time they do bring me food, but only once a day. It is okay, I have survived on less. I keep track of the movement of the sun in the sky. I keep track of how many times it sets and rises, and I pray with everything that I have to all the goodly forces of the world that something good can come from my life, no matter how it ends. Finally, after 4 days are through, the Lord makes his way down to see me, freeing me from my bonds, but keeping a circle of guards around me so that I can't escape. What is your challenge? I ask him, putting as much confidence, both false and real, as I can behind my voice. I challenge you to go to all the corners of the vast kingdom within 3 days. I can travel far and wide using my magic. I would wager that you cannot travel beyond your pathetic little village. If that is what you wager, then I am sorry, but you will lose. We shall see who loses, he smirks at me, and there is mirth in his eyes. There is hatred in mine. He takes me in a twisting path through the vast courtyard. We arrive at last to the stables, grand and clean and full of impressive horses. He gets his stable hand to bring him 2 horses. These he leads back to his magic room, taking them in through the castle. I get to see even more of the vast, stretching rooms filled with unimaginable wealth that make up the residence of my lord. I am very uncomfortable, yet awed in a strange way at the same time. Finally, we get to the magic room. There, the Lord takes his horses and drapes them with silken sheets, layers and layers of blooming colors and twisting patterns. Then he takes a silver knife and, much to my ire, makes 2 slots in the silk on the backs of each horse, but not cutting through the skin. He takes a peacock feather and lightly brushes each horse down. I can only imagine what the horses are feeling. They surprisingly have been calm throughout this whole ordeal. The horses start glowing, uncomfortably bright, and small shining flecks start flying everywhere around the room. There is a swirling wind that carries brightly colored smoke, and I watch it as it swirls around the horses. Everything calms down, and I see that now the horses have silver wings on their backs. I can see where this is going. Impressive, huh? The Lord asks me, smiling at his own actions. I've seen better, I retort nonchalantly. Get in the carriage, we're going on a trip. If you insist, I smile at him to show that I'm not scared. Once again, the guards flank us, but as we enter the plush insides of the Lord's polished carriage, they do not come in with us. I am still entirely trapped though, as the doors lock from the outside and the thick glass windows bar me from climbing out. The horses are attached to the carriage with silken ropes, and the Lord chants to make them start flying, no one at the reins. We quickly ascend to the sky, and I look out the window to see the world tiny underneath me. Everything looks so small and insignificant, as if all that matters is myself and the Lord. I remind myself that this isn't true. I try to ground myself. Thankfully, I succeed. So what do you do? He asks me. I farm. I take care of the village children. I practice magic. I try to keep my answers vague. And how do you learn this magic? From my mentor. If he thinks he can interrogate information from me, he's got another thing coming. And who is your mentor? That's for me to know and you to wonder. How do you manage to be so insolent? I know I'm dead, no matter what, so I might as well have fun. You're outstandingly strong. I've never met a woman like you before. Oh, really? I hide how not strong I am feeling on the inside. Yes, strong, brave, good at magic. You're a real rarity. And you're a real half-wit. He bursts out laughing at this, oblivious to the hatred behind my words. I simply look at him coolly and smile. Eventually, the ride through the kingdom is over, and I am escorted back to the castle courtyard. Now it's my turn, I smile. You could go to the whole kingdom, and that's impressive, but I can be everywhere in the kingdom at once. As if! That doesn't remotely make sense. The Lord and his guards follow me to the grass field to the east of the village. There, I sit down on my knees, I close my eyes, and I breathe deeply. I can feel the cold springtime air blowing over my body, giving me sharp energy. I can feel the rays of the sun on me. I can feel my place here in the meadow by the village, and I almost feel at home. I breathe, and I breathe, and I breathe again, and I feel all the emotions inside of me, all the rage and the hate and the pain. I feel all the fear and the hope. I feel all the love and the community and the joy. And I feel the way these emotions connect me to everyone in the whole entire kingdom, barring the nobles, of course. I feel the way that these emotions echo and change and reverberate within all the common people in the kingdom, connecting us all. I let my soul come out of my body, and I let my body come out of the world, and I let everything connect itself back to the forest. I feel all the very many infinite threads connecting all of us common folk together, the threads connecting us to the wild lands and the mountains and the hills and the rivers and the dales. I let everything come together, and I let everything take me apart into every direction. I am where I am meant to be, where I was all along. I feel at one with everything. I feel at one with everyone. I am everyone. I am every single living thing in this kingdom, all at the same time. They all flow into me, and I flow into all of them. I live their lives. I feel their heartache. I experience their joy. I feel at once not in the world and completely in the world at the same time. Everyone's lives flow through me and are a part of me as if they are my own, and I am theirs, and they are my own. They have been my own since before I first drew breath, since before I first moved within my father's womb, and they will be my own long after I am gone from this world. And I have always been theirs. I have been theirs since before the kingdom was made, and I will be theirs long after it falls to ruin. I have always been everyone. I have always been everyone, and everyone has always been me. It is just that in this moment I am focusing on it. In this moment I am focusing on how I am everyone and everyone is me, and I am letting it overcome me and overwhelm me and take up all the parts of my consciousness. And so I am projecting to every village in the whole kingdom. I am projecting to everyone. I am also projecting to every grain of dirt. Through every stretch of sky to every ray of sun. I am all the nature, and all the nature is me, and all the nature is everyone else, and everyone else is all the nature. The trees, the shrubs, the bushes, the herbs, the grasses, they are all a part of me, and I am all a part of them. The rivers and streams and hidden healing springs within the forest. I exist in all of that water, and all of that water exists in me. Everyone exists in all of that water, and all of that water exists in everyone simultaneously at the same time. I am the wolf that stalks through the trees, and I am the moose that eats the green leaves, and I am the bird that sings its bright song, and I am the bedrock that was here all along. And it's painful. It's so incredibly, overwhelmingly painful. It is unbearably painful. I feel everyone's pain as if it were my own. I feel everyone's pain, and it is my own. It has been my own for much longer than I have lived. It will be my own for long after I die. But now I am focusing on it. I am focusing on it and on all the deep injustices that paint everyone's lives. All the very many sources of pain that pierce through everyone's experiences. I am feeling it all, and I am becoming one with it. I do not only feel the people's pain, but I feel nature's pain as well. I feel the ever-present pain of the air. I feel the burning pain of the sun. I feel the grieving pain of all the plants and the animals. I feel the flowing pain of all the waters. I am them and they are me, and their pain is my pain. Nature grieves because the people grieve. Nature aches because the people ache. Nature mourns that we are separated from her and she cannot protect us, that she cannot keep us safe from each and every kind of harm, the way that she could in times long since gone by and now just barely remembered. Nature's pain is a mother's pain, and oh, how very deeply I feel her. But I also feel joy, too much joy for me to contain. All the joy the people have from having each other, all the joy people feel from seeing their children smile, all the joy that people feel from meeting kind strangers, the joy of meals, however meager, shared by the hearth, the joy of coming together in bright song, the joy of feeling the sun on our skin and the air in our lungs, the joy of sharing stories in the darkness of the night, of small resistances to the ruling forms of power, of having hope that these power systems will come to an end. I feel the joy that nature feels each and every time it can be with someone, be by someone, each and every time that it can help someone in ways big and small, in ways that are physical or mental or emotional or spiritual. I feel the joy that the people feel I feel the joy that people feel that their people are still existing. I feel the joy that nature feels that it is still existing. I feel the joy that people feel that nature is still existing. I feel the joy that nature feels that the people are still existing. I feel the hope that all life feels that one day things will be better, one day things will be kinder, one day things will be fair and universally equal. And all this joy and all this anguish and all these infinite different emotions felt in an infinity of different ways tears me apart and brings me together in ways that I will never be able to describe, ways that I will never be able to explain, not even to myself. All I can do is feel it, and all I can do is feel everything that the Creator has created and let it be so intimately tied with me that it is me and I am it. I do not know whether I am alive or dead. All I know is that we exist, all together, all within one another, all a part of one another. We exist, and we are beautiful, and the nature that created us is beautiful, and it all is so very beautiful and broken and strong and fragile and betrayed and perfect. And I stay in this state of agony and bliss until I feel something on my body, warm, soft, deeply unsettling hands on my shoulders. I startle and look up, immersed back into the regular, terrible flow of my life. The Lord is looking at me, amazement carved onto his entire face. How did you do that? He asks, his voice is dazed and confused. A true magician never tells her secrets, I reply. I've never seen anything like it. It must be a rare practice indeed. This form of magic that I just did is the easiest form of magic to do. It requires no teaching, no bravery, just to look out to make sure no nobles or guards are coming. And this is a form of magic that literally all of the common people practice. I don't tell him this, of course. Of course I don't tell him this. I have to keep my people safe after all. Maybe it is, I tell him. Surprisingly, he smiles. Well, you've definitely won this round, but how about one more round to see who wins once and for all? His voice has a softness to it that wasn't there before. Sure, why not? Though actually, I've won every round. Anyways, what do you think the final test will be? I'm ready for anything, your lordship. I pour sarcasm into his title so that he knows I'm not afraid of him. I need time to think. Why don't you come to the castle with me? Do I have a choice? No. I follow him to his rooms, trailed by guards. I feel sorry for the guards. I feel incredibly sorry for them. And looking back at it, I think I always did. They have to put up with the Lord all the time. But I can say nothing as I follow the Lord. In his large chambers, the lock behind me. So, I would like to get to know you a little better, he tells me, sitting on a plush red and black chaise. There's nothing about me that would interest you. Well, how old are you? 23. I'm 27. Okay. What about your family? What are they like? They're kind. The less he knows, the better. And what of your mother? Was she a witch like you? No. Will you let me go home? No. We keep on talking until dinner arrives. He gets something I can't even name, with juicy meat and bright vegetables and thick sauces. Along with that, he gets a chalice of fine wine. I get a simple bowl of porridge and a glass of simple water. It's something, at least. At the very least, I won't be hungry. We eat together intensely. Where will I sleep? It's over. I'll take the small bed. I'll take my small bed. You can have the large one. Thank you. I let myself feel the soft bed underneath me and the satin blankets above me. I let myself feel whatever pleasures I can, pleasures that have been denied me for all my life, pleasures I'll never feel again once I'm dead. I wonder why he's being so kind to me. He must be impressed with my magic. The morning doesn't bring its usual brightness, but rather strange, colorful, tinted light. Light that is far too bright to be natural and far too unnatural to be pleasant. The Lord greets me from his room, standing in front of the locked door. Good morning, my lady. Good morning, my lord. I think I know what our final challenge will be. Oh, what will it be? We will see who can create the most beautiful thing. Oh, that's easy. We will see. We eat breakfast in the large, long dining hall, and it is so deeply uncomfortable to be waited on by servants. How did you enjoy your night? His voice is smooth and unnerving. It was okay. How about you? I missed my bed, but I plan on... Okay, tonight, after my execution. Fuck. So tell me how you learned your magic. No. He keeps trying to ask me questions for the rest of breakfast. Finally, I follow him to his magic room. In it, I see things that were not there before. Gems sparkle and shine brighter than all the others. A large rod of platinum, lustrous pearls, an assortment of what vaguely resembles tools. He says no words and gets to work, pouring wine by the chalice into a bowl large enough to bathe a baby in. He then sets it on fire, and into the fire he places the platinum. He also puts the gems and the pearls into the fire. Next, he creates a ring around the bowl made of ivory and jade arranged into intricate shapes. He plunges a knife into a ring-necked dove, and I watch in horror as it struggles and screams, and he pours the blood of the bird onto the fire. He gets his peacock feathers and burns them, along with the neck feathers of the dove. And finally, he writes something long and fine with his ink and places it over the bowl. 1,000 pink leaf-like flakes of different sizes and shapes manifests into the air. They swirl all around the room, coalescing by the bowl full of treasures. There, they all join together and start to glow. It's beautiful to see, but there's something deeply wrong about it. There is something deeply twisted. Eventually, the glowing subsides, and in the bowl there is a beautiful platinum crown, as tall as my hand is long, shining in the firelight, finely shaped in all sorts of flowing metallic swirls and curls, encrusted with all sorts of gems and pearls. "Isn't it beautiful?" the Lord asks me. "I can do better," I tell him, and my words come out clear and confident, and they are not a lie. I walk to the peach tree in the courtyard, growing by the shadows of the outer wall. I reach on my tiptoes and pick a few peaches and put them in my uplifted skirt. I walk through the brisk spring morning to the village, and I find a group of young children playing on the streets. Alex, Clementine, Seraphina, and Sparrow. The youngest one is only a year old, and the oldest one is 5. "Hi guys," I sing brightly as I stoop down to smile at them. "Hi Aunt Mariana," they chime back in unison. I'm not really their aunt, but I am their aunt anyways. They stare at the guards behind me, awed and more than a little terrified. "Don't mind the guards," I tell the children. "They won't hurt you, I promise." "Why they here?" little Seraphina asks in her baby voice. "They're just following me. Anyways, I got you guys some peaches from the Lord's own garden." "From the Lord's own garden? From the Lord's own garden?" Alex exclaims, pronouncing their R's as L's. "Yes, children, they're for you." I hand them out to each time. "Whoa, thank you," Sparrow explains. They all hold the fruits in their hands and they smile. "You see, my lord," I turn to him, "the most beautiful thing in the world." He stands there, not saying anything. I turn back to the kids. "Now you enjoy those peaches," I tell them, "and have fun. I'm really sorry, but Aunt Mariana needs to go back to the castle." "Why?" "Because the Lord wants me there," I respond. On the walk back to the castle, the Lord asks me, "How was that beautiful?" "The smile of a child, my lord," I try to explain to him. "It's the most beautiful thing there is. I don't see what you see. And I suppose you can't, with all your statues and thrones. You are a rather strange woman. Anyways, you didn't even use magic." "Didn't I?" I smile mysteriously. "I have a question to ask you," the Lord tells me, quite urgently, once we get back to the castle. "Okay," I reply, trying to keep the building dread out of my voice. "Go to my rooms," he bids me, and I obey. I sit on the bed, trying to breathe slowly and deeply in the way that Anna taught me a few years ago. After what feels like an eternity, the Lord walks in with the crown that he made. He gets on one knee in front of me, holding out the crown. "My dear maiden Mariana," he says to me, "I am awed and amazed by your skills and talents in the magical art. I do admit I was quite doubtful at first, but you have proven yourself to be very worthy, most rare among the commoners, so rare in fact that I have realized that you must not be a commoner at all, but rather a noble who got lost at birth and was taken in by the peasants. In light of this, and knowing the fact that all the nobles must stay together as one group, I am asking you to marry me and to be my lady. I am really rather enamored by you and would be honored to be your husband." I don't know how to respond at all. In my shock, I start laughing. I laugh because of how stupid it is, because he thinks I am a lost noble because of my magical abilities. Really, my magic abilities are rather average. The old mages who teach the newer recruits know far more than I and can do far more. Why are you laughing? The Lord asks, rather taken aback. I'm sorry, I managed to stutter out through giggles. It's just your stupidity. My what? I keep laughing for a while before I am able to answer. You think that I'm a noble, tragically separated from her high-born roots. But I'm just a normal girl with no noble blood. Preposterous! You must be from a noble family. You just don't know it. To bring you back to the high background where you belong, I will make you my wife, my lady. I am not some foundling. My father and mother had me, and they raised me and the village is all I have ever known. Absurd! No normal girl would be able to be so very adept in magic. At this, I burst into another fit of laughter. This is so absurd, so very absurd. Me sitting on a soft bed with silken sheets while the lord of my county kneels in front of me, insisting that I am of noble blood. And simply because I am average at magic. Simply because I am average at magic. My lord, I'm sorry. I'm just a normal girl who practices witchcraft, not anything else. So how do you explain, then, that you are so skilled in magic? All people have magic inside of them. All people can express the magic inside of them if they are just given the chance. The nobles are not better than anyone else in the use of magic. The nobles are average. Dare I say they are less than average because they are not at all connected to their magical source. But the only reason that the common people cannot express their magic is because you and your people forbid it. You and your people prevent us from using the gifts we all have. But still, some of us are brave enough to go against your rule and learn the craft anyways. Whoa, being forced to live as a peasant has really made you delusional. What? He didn't even listen to me. He didn't even take my argument seriously. He just brushed it off. He is insufferable. I'm not delusional, you are. There is no mirth or softness left in my hard voice. Whatever your delusions may be, will you marry me? I will offer you a fine life full of servants and luxury. I think about this for a while. Marrying him would be my only shot at life. It would be the only way I could get out of this situation free. He wouldn't hurt me if we were married. He wouldn't hurt me or my parents or my siblings or my roommates. He wouldn't hurt my village. And I could be alive. This is perhaps my only shot at being alive. If I say yes, despite all that my heart is protesting, then I could be alive and free. But free? Would I really be free in a large castle, bound to this noble man, with an army of servants at my beck and call? Would I really be free despite having to warm his bed in the nights, having to be by his side in the days, having to live the sort of life that all the nobles live? Would it be authentic? Would it be real? Would it be me? It feels like a betrayal agreeing to marry him, a betrayal to my family, a betrayal to my fellow witches, a betrayal to my people. But most of all, it feels like a betrayal to me. I'm brave. I don't give in to fear. I don't sign my life away, sign my freedom away, sign myself away simply for the chance at continuing to survive. I went against the prohibition in order to study witchcraft. I can go against this Lord's power, against his wishes. I harden my guts and swallow down the fear that I am feeling. I won't marry you. I won't marry you. My voice rings clear. The Lord looks taken aback, looks astonished, looks genuinely hurt. What? There is confusion and betrayal in his voice. I won't marry you, I repeat simply. Well then, his voice is like a hurt child's, but his features quickly harden. I guess I will have to have you executed for practicing magic without authorization. Do it then. I fight with everything I have to make sure that my voice doesn't tremble. I force myself to walk on my numb legs as I am led out of the Lord's room and into a section of the castle that I have never been to before. It is so hard to breathe. I feel as though I am moving underwater. Everything feels unreal, as if it's a dream. Everything feels more real than it has ever felt before. I thought I was prepared for death, but in reality, I was not prepared. I was not prepared at all. I am not prepared at all. In the end, I am taken to a room that is far too bright for the gruesome brutality that is meant to go on inside it. There is an execution block in the middle of the small courtyard, and I am led to this block. One of the guards takes his place as the executioner. It must be a horrid job, and I wish I could free him of it. I wish I could free all the guards. I take a deep breath, the last breath I will take in my life, and I feel the sun against my skin for the last time in my life. 3, 2, 1. The heavy, ripping, searing pain screams through my neck like bright hot fire. The world goes black, but I don't die. I don't die. Or do I die? I don't know. I feel strange, as if I am filled with a strange, brimming energy. It feels bright and buzzing and so very natural, as if it was meant to be all along. There is no more pain. The blackness goes away, and I find myself staring down at my own beheaded body, gruesome and horrible. I lie limp and ashen, bright red blood pooling all around me. The Lord is kneeling beside my remains, and I see him lift my limp hand to his lips. I close my eyes, and when I open them, I am back in the forest, deep within its depths, where no guards can find me. I feel a power within me, a power that I didn't possess before. It flows through me strong and calming and oh so very protective, oh so very fierce. I feel like a mother moose with calves and antlers and nothing but a feral need for the preservation. I feel like a mother moose with calves and antlers and nothing but the feral need for the preservation of the youth. I feel like the river that flows through all the lands, protecting and nourishing them. I have power now. I have power, and I can use this power to protect the forest, to protect my people. And so I do. Forever after, I create a protective barrier around the forest, so that no noble may ever gain entry, so that the common people, witch and non-witch alike, can be safe while they are within its protective embrace, safe to practice magic and to love and gather food and find refuge in haven. I am one with the forest, I am one with the people, and as long as either the forest or the people survive, I will never die.